what I'm seeing in Transylvania, the new cartoon movie. But I also want to go over some other things, just so you have some other notes if you're trying to follow along. Let me first start by saying a few things. One, if you're a new subscriber and you have not watched my videos, and you're watching this one and I sound like I'm rambling, I might be, but if you go back and watch the last 8 or 9 videos or something like that, all the ones I uploaded on 9/11, and some other ones, then you will be more on board with what I'm talking about as far as visually being able to follow along. And if you can't be bothered watching those videos, please do not expect all the answers in this one. And do not expect all the answers at all, because I'm just as clueless as most of the people on this stuff, because I'm trying to learn it as we go. I just know in my heart and soul that the ultimate code is the stars, because it is the precise timekeeper. And this is why the Freemasons are about the stars. And also why, or one of the reasons, I don't want to say the reason, a reason is because it is a perfect timekeeper. The scripture, the movies, everything that you're seeing, where you're seeing all the symbols, all the same thing over and over again, is because it all goes back to the stars. I explained that in other videos, and you can see that there. Also, I want to, let's see, I'm going to go over some things like what we're seeing too in events, and how that also looks like those events on the television are going to an alignment. And then I'm just kind of going to speculate on this video a little bit. I have not watched this whole movie. I'm literally stuck at this one point in it because of this one section, because I know, of course, we're dealing with the stars yet again. They make sure to give us all the markers, and I'm going to show that and then talk about it in relationship to events that we are seeing and events that may be coming up. And I hate fear porn, but I do feel the need for some reason to share this, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. Whether I'm right or wrong is not the point. Hopefully I am wrong. So only a bad person would actually wish that they could be right and see destruction, because that would be really messed up in the head. But let me tell you what. Let's go really quick. So if you are new, I'm not going to stay focused on this, because my other subscribers don't need to be constantly bombarded with the same thing over and over again. And yet they are actually bombarded with the same thing over and over again, because the subject matter is the same, and because they keep giving the same arc in their stories. So let me show you something for those that are new, and I'm only going to do this really quick. We're going to quickly just go to 9/11, and we're going to go to 2001, and I just want you to know that on 9/11, wow, we ended up with a lot of years in there. We don't want all those years. Okay. All right, there we go. On 9/11, Jupiter, number 42, is with the twins. Just know that. So the day that the twins come down, Jupiter is with the twins. All right, so now we're going to fast forward to our time frame now, which today is the 1-year anniversary of the event in Vegas. And Vegas says they're going to go dark tonight to memorialize the event of the Harvest Festival, after a week after the Revelations 12 sign appeared in the sky, the star alignment. And notice that Jupiter was with the twins before, and now look at the arc. So if you're new to this, just look at the arc, how it goes. We have our twins to the right, okay, and then across from the twins. So Jupiter was over with the twins, and now Jupiter is with the justice, the scales, okay? So right here, from the twins where it was at 9/11 to the justice to the scales, all right? Now that's important because they follow Jupiter, the elite. Jupiter is, you know, the king of kings when it comes to the planets, all right? And anyways, there's a whole bunch of reasons. I can't get into it or I'm just going to really lose you. The thing is that the tribe of Dan, so I'm going to show you. The tribe of Dan serpent plate on the door in Jerusalem, all right? And also the scales of justice emblem of the tribe of Dan, all right? The book of Revelations and the 12 tribes. But the tribe of Dan's name was not on the list, right? And let Dan be a serpent by the roadside, a horned viper by the path, all right? So our serpents, we have two of them. We have Hydra, but we have Serpens, and he's actually called Serpens, the constellation, and our justice scales, all right? Now, Jupiter, the one that takes 12 years to get through the 12 signs, unlike the sun that only takes 1 year to get through all 12 signs, it takes Jupiter 12 years to get through the signs. Right now, Jupiter is in the tribe of Dan with justice. And what are we dealing with right now but the justices and all this stuff with justice? And what's the other stuff going on in the background? As Jupiter was leaving Virgo, going towards the Serpent, we got Stormy Daniels. And in the mythologies and stuff, when stuff is down here in this section, this is a storm. I don't know how else to describe it. You don't have to take my word for it. Just with all of the stuff that I'm watching and seeing, that's what it's part of. So in the tribe of Dan, in the stars, our Jupiter is now with the justices, just like Jupiter was with the twins. Follow Jupiter, follow that. Also follow the moon key. Anyways, and then in a couple months, I'm not saying that this is right, but the winter solstice around there, now Jupiter moves into Scorpio, where Jupiter gets struck by Judas, okay? Now, I want to explain something. I just want to play you a few things and show you a couple of things. Remember that Donald Trump and Mike Pence, okay? So remember that the president and the vice president are Geminis, both of them, all right? So they're Geminis. Now, Trump is all about this spear of destiny, okay? So let me show you. If you go to Trump's penthouse in Trump Tower, all right? Here he is, or not him, but here is the painting, and he's got the spear, okay? Then if you go to Trump's, and this is from Donald Trump's The Devil's Advocate on Angel White's channel. I recommend going and watching that video, all right? Trump also has as his coat of arms that he has decided to make this spear of destiny, okay? See, he's holding that spear. All right, in this movie, Van Helsing, all right, I'm starting to think Van Helsing, since he's linked to the monsters and everything, might be representative with Centaur, because in this section of the sky, they describe this as the beasts, some of the monsters, really. In the movies and stuff, they focus on this section as monsters, and it can be beasts, but in the scripture and stuff also, the beast was like a leopard with the feet of the bear and the mouth of the lions, all right? So I just want to point that out so that you know that. So I'm thinking maybe the Van Helsing character, and I could be wrong, but I'm thinking part of that character's characteristics can be from the centaur who takes on the monsters, the scorpions, the locusts, the werewolf, the vampire. You know, the vampire turns to the bird and fights the wolf. That's another reason why you see all that in the movies. But again, back to Donald Trump choosing to have the Spear of Destiny as his coat of arms, and then knowing that he also has it in his, literally above his head in Trump Tower. And then notice too that, like, in this scene in Vegas where all the casinos and stuff are, right? Majorly known for that. She says, listen.
He's a Gemini, a triple Gemini, duality. Gemini's the snake, you know.
Okay, so she's talking about Gemini, triple duality, but he's the snake, right? So if you go back to the stars and you go to the Gemini, when they're over on this horizon on the side where they're getting ready to sink, all right, the snake is on the opposite side of them, okay? So right here. So you go across and the snake is over here. The snake is also between them. Now remember, the woman lets in the snake, and as the day goes on, the snake the story can be that the snake takes out the woman, because as the day goes on, she goes and she's the one to go down first, all right? And the snake gets to rule, all right? So he warns her not to let him in, but he does come in. So our twins, Donald Trump, Gemini, what did he do the whole campaign trail but constantly read the snake story, the snake poem, right?
Who has heard the poem called The Snake?
Okay. If you don't know that, just understand that this is a Gemini, and these people follow the stars, and he keeps reading the snake poem on the entire trail, all right? Go watch the Donald Trump's The Devil's Advocate on Angel White's channel. Understand the spear, right? Understand the tip of the spear that he has given to himself as his coat of arms, and understand that in this alignment, all right, with the snake, the twins, we have the tip of the spear going after the monsters, all right, stabbing the beast, the wolf, the monsters, and they're gonna, again, if you haven't watched my videos, please don't try to get all the answers in this one, or you're gonna get confused. You gotta go back and watch the ones that I uploaded on 9/11 and whatnot, and follow it up with Finis Temporis, some of Angel White, this stuff, and you'll really, really, really start to grasp it. Otherwise, you're just going to be kind of flopping in the wind. You'll know something's true about what's being said, but you're going to really be kind of totally lost. All right. Also, they talk about the snake biting at the horse's heel. And, never mind. I don't even want to get into all that, or I'm just going to confuse you more. All right. So keep in mind all of those things, that the twins, the Jupiter was with the twins when they fell. Donald Trump is the twins with Mike Pence. The Geminis are in ruling. The two witnesses are ruling right now. That twin told you and all of us the snake poem the entire time he was running. The opposite side of the Gemini is the snake. Sharon Stone in the movie Casino is flat out saying the same thing. Gemini can't trust the snake, okay? We know who he's serving. Maybe people think otherwise, or people that are in love with him or whatever, but this is by design. I don't care what anybody says, because I'm old enough to know and been following this way too long to know that this is by design. All right, so now we're going to go to this Transylvania. And again, remember the tribe of Dan, the symbols, the emblems, the justice scales, okay? The Serpens, again, is the justice scales and the Serpens. The tribe of Dan, Stormy Daniels. Right now on 10/1, this is on set to 12/1, but on 10/1, we know that the Jupiter is with the judges. That's all that we're dealing with. The judges, the Stormy Daniels, all this stuff. It's all right there. Then we're going to go to the movie, and just like all the other movies where they took down the Twin Towers and we had the exact alignment of this region over here with the twins on the date of 9/11. So if you go look at those videos, you'll see. Now we're going to have something new happen. I do believe it. I do not believe they're going to wait another 12 years for a major event. I could be wrong, but starting now up until Jupiter is long past this region. So Jupiter is going to be up in here for 1, 2, 3. Let's see. We got to go to another year. All right. Jupiter is finally away from our bowman. I got to keep him at least up until the bowman, not until 2020. All right. But in between that time, Jupiter is going to be hanging out with these other characters in around the tribe of Dan up until 2020. Now, the arc that they keep showing in the movies keeps focusing on that. I could be reading it wrong. They could only be doing all that because it's just metaphors for the stars, you know, but they did do 9/11, and that's what really messes things up, because it's like, well, they really did do events based on the star alignment, based on the scripture alignment. They did it, so I can't ignore that they might do it again. All right, now that I've tried to ramble all that and explain that to you, let me go to the movie. All right, right here, this is not the beginning of the movie. This is just one of the scenes. Anyways, all right, so notice that they show the swastika. All right, now the swastika is not evil. All right, the swastika is the Big Dipper when you mark it at the seasons to the North Star. All right, so here we have our Big Dipper. So let me put this where I think it should be about. All right. So if we go to the morning of, all right, the sun would have to be, I'm just doing this for myself, mind you. All right. So our Big Dipper up here, Ursa Major, occupies the very center of the sky. All right. And it's going to form, here's the North Star. All right. So as the Big Dipper forms to the North Star, follows around, and you mark it at the 4 seasons. So when you mark it at the winter solstice, the spring equinox, the summer solstice, and the fall equinox, it forms a swastika. All right? It's stars. It's nothing bad. And other people say, well, it's good luck and it's this and it's that. Yeah, okay, it's all these things. But the other thing is that it's actually an alignment. It's marking the North Star. It's marking the Big Dipper. It's marking that celestial center up there, okay? For us, for North America. All right.
So I began to search for an answer, and I saw it in an ancient text, an instrument.
All right, so this instrument of destruction, and they've linked it to the ocean with the octopus, right? Oi.
Of destruction, so powerful it destroyed Atlantis.
Okay, I'm not saying I'm correct on this part here, but I'm a bit triggered, and you're going to see why. They're talking about Atlantis, but in my head, I'm thinking Atlantic. Something, a play on the words Atlantis. Whether it's Atlantic, Atlantic City. But you're going to see, because they mention casino in here. And then we have the casino movie where she specifically is telling us about the Gemini to the snake. And it's in the movie Vegas, right? Or in Casino about Vegas. And then we have Donald Trump who is the Gemini who's telling us the snake. And I can't ignore that stuff because I know that since this is how they communicate, I just can't ignore all that. So he then focuses on his hair. All right. And we all know the whole Donald Trump thing with the hair, right?
Oh, city of monsters.
So they're going to take out this whole city of monsters.
Endlessly search for the lost city.
Okay, so it's endlessly searching for the lost city of Atlantis. All right. He goes, he looks in the mirror, our Cassiopeia. For those who don't know, all right, when you put up the alignment, like same on 9/11 with the twins going down, you have your Cassiopeia over here on the edge of the border. See, if you put stuff to the edges of the borders and then what occupies the center of the sky, that's how you can give an alignment, right? A time frame, especially if you know the season and if somehow you know the date. Now, I don't know the date unless an event's already happened or I can see it. I can't even, oh my God, that's just too much to explain. Oh my God, and I don't want to remake this video because I don't edit it. Let me not get into all that. The fact of the matter is that Cassiopeia is known for her mirror. She sits by the edge of the stars, and the monsters, Lupus, Scorpio, the vampires, Corvus, like in the movies, you're always seeing the vampires versus the werewolves, and then you have what I think is the Van Helsing character taking the monsters out, or in scripture, the centurion who stabs the Christ in the rib, which is likely when one of the planets and everything's aligned onto the cross. All right, so you already know all that if you followed my videos. And let's just move forward. He's focused on his hair, Atlantis, Atlantic. He starts talking. He says 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 again, like he's pointing out 12, but I'm not getting into all that either. But I do have my clock set to 12:21 on the star map. Okay, sorry that we're having dead silence here. I just don't want to keep hitting fast forward. All right. 120 years, so we get our 12 again from him.
I have finally found Atlantis.
Oh, forget about all this. Let me get rid of Dracula right now.
Now, mind you, again, he was focused on his hair, all right? And I just think it's very weird.
so close to him. I couldn't.
No.
Okay, so by his hair here, at the tips of his hair, it says Gemini, all right? And they made sure to put sticky notes there. So we have a sticky note on Gemini, a sticky note on Scorpio, and that's what I'm paying attention to is all these sticky notes. So while other people might be focused on Atlantis in the conversation, my mind is going to the fact that they're showing stars, they've put the sticky notes, they've given exact constellations with the sticky note.
No! We have to stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. Okay. Now, look, above his hair here, so in his hair here, we have Gemini, and above his hair here, we have Scorpio. And then it says ancient ley lines, of course. 188 ley line. I don't know. Vegas isn't on it, but is Atlantic City by it? Then it says monster cruise, sail away because we got our boat. And then we have last seen in the night, where we have half the ship missing and we have all the hieroglyphs in there. So Scorpio, Gemini, boat, last seen in the night, the monsters. All right, so our Scorpio, our Gemini, our boat in the darkness below, right? And in the movie, they also keep hiding the dog, right? So they're focused on hiding the dog. And you guys know the importance of the dog star. Okay. So they're going to do something ancient ley lines, of course. Scorpio, Gemini. The ship, it's broken. We also have, you know, the Titanic, how it supposedly split in half. And if anybody really studies the Titanic, it sounds like that story is full of shit. And they based it off the book, The Wreck of the Titan, that was written in the 1800s. And they used that book as the faux story to tell us about the false flag conspiracy of the Titanic that they themselves did, likely to get rid of some of the wealthy people that would have been a hindrance to passing the Federal Reserve in 1913. So that's probably... Okay, so then all of a sudden when he points down to here, look, it says to casino. That's just a weird thing, because this map here, it's almost like it's a game, right? So down here it says enter here, and then it says booby-trapped stones, fire stairs, steps 352. It says step number 352 triggers the second set of spears. This is why I was focused on the spears, because in there they're saying the second set of spears. All right, and the one set of spear that we kept having crammed into our face was Alex Jones. I'm the tip of the spear. And then you got Trump with the tip of the spear and the second set of spears. Then you have Trump linked with the snake and the Scorpio over here in all of his speeches to the Gemini. Then in the tribe of Dan is all the serpent and the scales. And then we have Stormy Daniels and the justices, and everything's just like it's just going out to plan. All right. And then they have this weird to casino. So after we have the step 352 trigger second set of stairs, mace, there's a little triangle here. For those who don't know, down in the stars is actually the triangle, and the compass and the square, also the altar, the fire altar of God. So when you're seeing your compass, square, and triangle and all that, well, there you go. Then continue forward. So why does it say casino? Why does this guy focus on his hair? Why is he talking about monsters? Why is it Atlantis, or is it Atlantic? Because that's where there's a lot of casinos. Then there's this destruction to come up out of the sea. And it's in the hand. The power is in the hand here.
Instrument of destruction. Trap them there and then wipe them out.
And then wipe them out. Isn't that just lovely? Okay, so then here it says Earth's axis has shifted 23 degrees. So now if you go to the equinox, we have this shift, right? And as we have that shift, then our days change, the warmth that we get from the sun and everything happens. And the Earth's polar rotation is tilted at 23.4. So I'm assuming if something's going back or something, it's supposedly going to be at 23 degrees. I don't know that stuff exactly, and I really wish I did. I wish I had a mentor that was really a pro at astronomy and the equinoxes and stuff to help me figure this out. But it does say that it has, in fact, shifted. So it already says Earth's axis has shifted 23 degrees. We know that there's these shifts during the equinox. We just had the equinox. So let's see.
Try and kill Dracula.
Fine! I promise.
Promise what?
Okay, and then, well, there was something there, but I couldn't see it.
Oh, we have to stick.
All right. I don't think it's going to matter because I can't even read it, even if it comes up. I don't have a big television here. Maybe somebody else can really read those notes if they want to. So anyways, just keep all that in mind, how all of this stuff just matches. And if you're like, I think she's full of crap because this is the only video of mine you've watched, you need to go backwards. And if you can't be bothered going backwards and you can't be bothered looking at it, I really can't be bothered trying to explain it all into one video because it's way too much to try to convey. I'm trying to convey it as fast and as short and as concise as I can. And it's very hard because I can't put you inside my brain. And I'm not going to sit there and spend days on end editing endless amounts of information. I'm just speaking to you direct, and that's the best that I can do. And I hope that that helps. And anybody else that's looking into this, Finnis and others, this is another interesting alignment that they make sure to focus on with those sticky notes of Scorpio and the twins yet again, just like on the morning of 9/11, just like the scripture when the scorpions arise and start to rule earth, and the woman had the hair of the woman and the teeth of the lions, and it's all just right there in front of our face. So yet again, I hope that that helps people who are looking into this stuff, and you guys have a good one, and thanks for your patience with my rambling. Bye.